Hey, gang, hopefully you enjoyed today's show. Had the one and only Dave Ferrell on today. We talked a little bit about fishing offshore, a little bit about fishing inshore, too. Dave was talking about everything from snakeheads to blue marlin off of Australia, so and everything in between. So hopefully you guys and gals enjoyed today's show.
You're listening to WWBC, Cocoa, Melbourne, Titusville, 1510 AM, as well as W234BI, Cocoa, Rockledge, and W264AS, Rockledge, Melbourne, Palm Bay, and 100.7 FM.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Catch a Memory Outdoors right here on WWBC 1510 AM. We appreciate you guys and gals tuning in for another edition of Catch a Memory right here on the radio station. You know, this thing has gotten into the point where we call it a radio show / podcast because podcasting is becoming such a popular thing. People are actually referring more to podcasts now than they are to even live radio in some cases. So we've got both just for you guys and gals. And if you want to ever go back and see any of our old podcasts, it's real easy. CatchAMemoryOutdoors.com. Click on the archived tab, and you can listen to not all, but about 8 years worth of podcasts that we have archived for you on the WWBC website. So welcome to today's show. We appreciate you guys and gals tuning in. I'm Captain Jim Ross, and I'm the host of the show. For those of you that may be just listening in on the radio for the first time or tuning in via Facebook or the WWBC app or the streaming app where you can get us at CatchYourMemoryOutdoors.com. Click on the Listen Live tab, and there's plenty of ways that you can get us. Going to have a great show today. I got my good buddy Dave Ferrell in the show, and we are going to have a big time today because Dave, you know, every time we get together, it's always a fun time to fish, man.
Yeah, man.
And I'm glad to finally get you back in the show. It's been like a year. It's been like a year. While. Yeah, since I had you in.
It's been a little while. So, I'm pretty wide open now. So
you're available. You're available. Available. So, Dave, you know, for the listeners out there that don't know who you are, you have had multiple jobs, multiple hats over the years, and done all kinds of incredible fishing.
Yeah, I was the editor of Marlin Magazine for 25 years or so.
Yeah.
I worked at Sport Fishing Magazine at the same time. I started Marlin University, that created that fishing school that's still going on now.
So
called Marlin Expedition.
So to me, that was one of the fun parts of the job. That obviously, being an editor of the magazine, there's a lot of responsibility with that. Mm-hmm. It's so unfortunate that print media is starting to fade.
It is because that long form journalism starting to go away. Even 60 Minutes is getting, the people don't want to pay attention for a long period of time anymore.
No. Well, we've turned our society into a bunch of squirrels. Yeah. And I'm guilty.
I am too.
Right here. I am
too. I used to read the paper every day.
Yeah.
I'd sit down and read the newspaper, and that's really how you learn about stuff. Mm-hmm. You can't learn about anything in a 4-second soundbite or blast. That really is just, if you're getting it, it's probably reinforcing what you think already anyway.
Yeah.
So, I'm one of those journalism guys, and I'm either hated or loved by who you talk to.
Right. Well, you guys, so guys like you, Ted Lund is a journalist as well, and you know Ted, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
sure do.
Guys like you put a lot of thought into what it is that you're trying to put down on paper, and you try to word it in a way that is, I say, eloquent and yet informative.
Well, I never really thought about it that much. I was, when it's a lot different thing when you're writing for a newspaper versus writing for a fishing magazine. when I'm writing for a fishing magazine and I'm interviewing people and they're telling me stuff, I'm going to quote them verbatim what's in there.
Right,
And it's because it's what they say, even if I don't agree with it, even if I don't think it's true. Let's put it that way. Even if I know it's a lie, I'm going to put it in there because this man has been fishing for 30 years, and this is what he's been doing, and this is why he thinks that's doing good for him.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not the way it is.
But
most
sometimes
of the time.
that could be a fish tail, you're saying.
That's just the way his daddy taught him, and that's just the way it is. You know, but and then when you're writing for, which I started in the newspaper business.
Right.
It's a whole different ball game. You're trying to get the truth out.
Yes.
When you're and it depends obviously on what department you're working in. If you're writing the obituaries, or it's not all that important if everything's correct because the dude's gone. He's not going to be giving you much crap. Maybe his family will.
Right.
But if you're on the front page, if you're doing that, if you've got a column that's on the editorial page or something like that, you pretty much try to make sure that you're telling the truth.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get things wrong.
You got to try. You got to try
does,
to get it right at least.
But you've got to go. You go well out of your way to make sure that what you're putting down on the paper is true. And if it's not, if you can't make sure, then you don't print it.
Right. Yeah. If you can't verify the facts,
correct,
you don't want to be held accountable for misinformation.
Correct. It's the worst thing in the world to have your editor call you up and say, "Hey, man, I've got 9 people calling me telling me you're full of crap."
Yeah.
I've never had that happen because I've always, even when I do interviews for, I'm doing a thing for Marlin right now. If you're talking to me, you're being recorded, and I tell them that before we even get into it.
Well, a couple of things. First of all,
both of us.
You get the information exactly
correct
the way that it came out, not the way that you perceived it to come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And so yes, definitely.
And I help them out. I don't let people go on and then make themselves look foolish.
Right.
I'll try to help them.
Try and steer them a little bit. Yeah.
I'll try to help them.
Try and help the current that they're happen to be flowing on. You try and help adjust that current a little bit.
When you're talking between me and you and the things that we're talking about, sometimes if that goes down on paper, it's not going to translate well to what was going on between the two of us. You know what I mean? Same way when you're doing an interview and you're talking about technical fishing things and stuff like anything like that.
Details are important.
Correct.
Details are important. Well, you know what? Speaking of details, we've already got a caller on the line. We got Mike Kipp on the line this morning. Good morning, Mike. How are we doing this morning, Captain?
Good morning. Weatherman definitely gets paid to lie. We fishing the lady angler, got the wife with the Fireline ladies on the boat clearing Ponce Inlet, and it's probably a solid 15 to 18 knots out of the southeast, 3 to 4 foot with the occasional 5-foot roller and wind chop like you wouldn't believe.
Oh man, that's what I was afraid of because the FSFA tournament is going on today, and yesterday it was not easy to stand up. I did a little I did a little triple tail fishing and a little snook fishing.
They're enjoying their bean bags, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it was a little, not even a little sporty. It was kind of a lot sporty, and I didn't see their wind really lay down overnight. So yeah, I imagine that 3 to 4 solid and pretty tight. I would imagine too.
Oh yeah, it's definitely with a wind chop. It's definitely not a convenient interval for a fishing tournament by any means. Out of the port or out of Ponce Inlet.
Well, what's your game plan for today?
Well, we were going to try to get out to the stream, but we're probably just going to troll the beach with some planers and see if we can't get into some kingfish and at least try to make the weigh-in for something to put up there to take some pictures with. If not, we're still going to have a good time. And worst case scenario is we'll just anchor up and get off the island and hang out there for the day if we got to. But we're going to make a day out of it anyway.
One way or the other, something's going to get done today, it sounds like. Hey, Mike, a couple of days ago, Tuesday, as a matter of fact. Tuesday, the water, I fished out of Canaveral. The water inshore was absolutely gorgeous. I went and netted some pogies. I came back to the jetty and was snook fishing on the jetty. And we were getting some snook. And then all of a sudden, the bite started to slow down a little bit. So one of the things I like to do is I'll take some pogies and I'll live chum. And so I started throwing pogies, towards the jetty, slinging them out of my baseball bat. To try and create some activity again, stimulate some bites. And the pogies run all over the place when you do that. Well, one of them
Right.
was around. It was screaming across the top, making this little ripple across the top, coming around the front of the boat, towards the shipping channel, away from the jetty, and it was about 15 feet out in front of the boat. And my customer's just kind of watching it go by, and all of a sudden, about a 12 to 14 pound king mackerel skyrocketed the pogey right in front of his nose. And of
That's
course,
one of the coolest things to see.
and of course, when he did that, the thing is at eye level. He's standing up on the deck of the boat. The thing is at eye level with him, and you know how kingfish. I don't know how they do it, but they have like this Michael Jordan ability to just hang in the air.
Yep.
They're one of the fastest fish in the ocean.
Yeah,
And
so he comes
swim.
he
That's
comes
definitely
out of the
impressive when they
water.
start skyrocketed on bait.
Yeah, he comes out of the water, and then they turn to go head first back in, but they come out head first, but it's that turn where they just kind of hang there for a second, and it's almost like
Wide
they're
mouth.
defying
Mouth wide
gravity.
open.
Oh yeah, the pogey is literally the pogey is being chopped in half, and the head portion of the pogey is falling away from the king mackerel.
Yeah, I can see
as
that,
he's
man.
hanging in the air. And so, what I was going to say to bring that all around full circle, we had a lot of fish inshore on Tuesday. Now Wednesday we had that rain and really super rough weather, and then Thursday and Friday Thursday was too rough to get out, and Friday was it wasn't a whole lot better. But the water down our way really changed and really got muddy. So how is your water condition inshore, after that heavy blow and that wind we had on
So,
Wednesday and Thursday?
That heavy blow actually pushed some really clean water into our inshore, especially around Ponce Inlet into New Smyrna Beach and over towards the South Daytona Basin and all that. The water was like for flounder gigging, it would have been beautiful because at the marina I'm at, you normally don't see the water. It usually looks like pea soup the whole time as far as looking at the bottom and stuff. But you could almost see the bottom in the marina. It made me want to get the flounder boat back out and start gigging at night. But right now it's definitely pea soup green right off the beach, and we're going to try to find some bait and start trolling some baits and see if we can make a day out of it.
Now you mentioned planers. That's a big part of kingfish, and that some of the newer people don't really know that much about pulling a planer. That's old school technique. I mean, that's from the 1960s and 70s. Back when king mackerel was when they were the targeted species. You always put the wireline rods out or the planer rods out, and you pulled a sea witch and strip combo, or you pulled some kind of a spoon like a big number 3 king spoon or something.
Spoon.
Yeah. Yep. Is that your game plan today, or are you going to just try and slow troll?
We're gonna take all the pre-rigged ballyhoo apart off the mono. We'll probably still throw a mono line out because I have trolling for kingfish caught the rogue mahi 5 miles off the beach. So
yeah,
we'll probably do that and change everything out to some wire rigs, and I might even try to make a strip bait. We brinded a couple of ballyhoo into strips just in case. So we'll probably go with that plan and just see if we can't get on some kingfish. Have a good time.
All right, buddy. Well, sounds like a good time. Hey, if somebody wants to jump on board and do a fishing charter with you, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, man, they can look me up online at Fireline Charters.
Fireline Charters.
837-3827.
Captain Mike Kipp, we appreciate the call in and the live report this morning. Sea conditions aren't what they should be, but hopefully it'll calm down for you today.
Yes, sir. You guys have a safe day. I think I'm breaking the line of getting cell service, so if you can still hear me, you guys have a safe day and enjoy the rest of the show and catch a memory.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Take care. Yeah, that's it. It's tough, typically by June it's calmed down enough to, get out there in a John boat.
Yeah, the weather.
But man, we've had so much wind this year. Just
been windy.
It's like March just does not want to give up.
No. It was good for me though because it dumped all those oak trees really quick, oak leaves really fast.
Yeah,
dumped them all really quick, and if you're trying to fish, man, it just blows.
It's tough. So going back to the editing and the things of that nature, obviously details are what's most important, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when you're looking at trying to put a story together, do they give you a word count that you're trying to hit, target, or do you just let it flow and then it gets edited back?
I usually give people way more than they. If I get a 2,000 word article assignment, I'm probably going to give them 3 or 3,500 even.
Right.
And some people like that, some people don't. Some people like you to deliver, right on. They don't change it that much. I liked it when I was an editor. The more that you give me, the better off, because I can hack that down and move things around, and if I have to expand, I can. If I have to cut it, I can.
Well, you have to think. So guys like me that are fishing guides,
yes,
we're not editorial geniuses.
Correct.
And so a lot of times our story will get convoluted or confused.
Well,
we're giving you the facts, but we're not putting them in a logical order in some cases. So, like you say, you can cut here, paste there, cut this, move that, and so you can make it flow much better than a guy like myself.
The editor, most of my writers, especially when you're in the newspaper business, you got reporters and then you have editors, and the editors do a lot of the writing. Reporters write a lot, they think. but what I want is from a good reporter is getting all those great facts, and then we can draft a story. We can work with the reporter to make a good story. Now, when you're working on a fishing magazine, a lot of the stuff that you get is not that polished, obviously.
Right.
That's why when you get on the interviews and stuff, I like to interview people instead of just having them say, there's guys who don't like to do an interview. They'll say, "Can I just write all this down and send it to you?" Sure. That usually is okay, but it's not going to be as good as if I can talk to the fella and get him to say stuff, exciting quotes. I can goad him on to make him say something that's a mundane fact. He can attach a story to it. But he wouldn't do that if he's just writing it all out or sending me an email.
For instance,
correct.
This happened to me on a charter 2 years ago, kind of a thing, and have a story to go with his example.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of this is going away because they want things quicker and faster. They don't want long form stories. It's hard to I did a thing for the IGFA yearbook last year. It was like 3,000 word story that they ran,
right.
Which was awesome. It was all about billfish billfish conservation and with tagging and all that stuff, and some great information in there. And it would have been horrible if they'd have chopped that down to 1,500 words, and tried.
It just would not. It would have not have been interesting at all.
Well, it would have still been good, but it wouldn't have been as good as.
Right.
You would have got all that information in there. It would have been impossible.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? We're going to take our first break of the day, and when we come back, it sounds like we got another caller on the line, so don't go away. Catch a Memory, Captain Jim Ross and Dave Ferrell are going to be right back after these messages. Assassin, the most trusted name in bass fishing lures, is now the top soft plastic lure brand for saltwater. Sea trout, tarpon, redfish, and snook hammer the saltwater Assassin 4-inch sea shad. With its amazing swimming action, this lure sets the bar for swim bait designs. Other companies continue to try, but none have been able to replicate the action of this incredible minnow-style lure. But Assassin has other proven designs. I like the native shiner colored 5-inch shad Assassin. That's my go-to lure when I'm targeting big gator trout. Redfish love the drunk monkey or the mudbug colored 4-inch Assassin shrimp cocktail. And you can rig these on a weedless worm hook or the amazing Assassin spring-lock jig head. Now, these are just a few of my favorite Assassin lures. Check out what top professional anglers have known for years. Assassin lures simply catch more fish, and you can get them at your local tackle store or go to bassassassin.com and get some of these fantastic lures for yourself today. Starbright Premium Marine Polish helps keep your boat looking great. This easy-to-apply premium polish uses polymers instead of wax, so it lasts up to 3 times longer than traditional boat wax. The polymers in Starbright Premium Marine Polish are also easier to apply, block UV rays better, and help keep fish blood, slime, and poop and other stuff from sticking to your gel coat. Starbright Premium Marine Polish isn't a wax, it's a sealer. It's safe for all fiberglass, paints, and polished metals. You won't believe how awesome Starbright Premium Marine Polish will make your car or truck look too. Wax is for surfboards, not boats. Protect your boat with Starbright Premium Marine Polish. How did Anheuser-Busch do it? How did they take water, barley, malt, hops, rice, and yeast and create the best-selling, cleanest-tasting, low-calorie beer in America. With only 95 calories and 26 grams of carbs, Ultra is the clear champion of beer for people on the go. Taste the American Revolution for yourself and give Mick Ultra a try. Superiority is worth paying for. And Carroll Distributing, your local Ultra Superior light beer dealer, wants to remind you to enjoy life, have fun, and always drink your crisp tasting Ultra responsibly. Hey gang, this segment of the show is brought to you by Strike Zone in Melbourne. If you haven't stopped in at Strike Zone lately, check them out. They got a whole bunch of new gear in for the spring. Got a whole bunch of live bait offerings down there. Live bait rigs from Kingfish rigs to some of their inshore rigs, and of course offshore. You guys that are doing deep dropping, you guys that are doing the sword fishing. Obviously, the guys that are going out tuna fishing, you guys and gals can get all the stuff you need right there at Strike Zone in Melbourne. So stop in and tell them you heard about it right here on Catch a Memory Outdoors. We're going to go back to the phone lines. Mike Mann, Captain Mike Mann from Fat Fish Guide Service is on the water this morning. What's going on this morning, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Jimmy. Dave, how are you guys today?
We're doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Doing well. I have got this beautiful woman on my boat called my wife, and we are looking for some tarpon. So we took the weekend off, and let's get up, go in the morning, look for some tarpon. I got a good report. There was a big mass that pushed through yesterday morning while we were sitting on the beach. So we're kind of looking for it. We've seen a few roll, and still a little bit early. The tide's not quite right, but it looks like this coming week we actually have light winds.
Shh! Don't say that too loud. The wind gods will hear.
Putting your mouth on it.
Yeah, yeah. The wind gods will hear.
Man, it has been a windy 6 months.
It won't quit. It's a perpetual 3-foot swell with a 2-foot chop on top of it, or bigger. Yeah. Or bigger.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's out of one direction. It's you get northeast. This week we've had northeast, southeast, east. I think we've got some west coming up. We had west a couple days ago. So I mean, it's just been in a circular motion. It looks like it's still doing that next week, but it looks like more 5 to 10. So
yeah, as long as it's not 15, happy. Because there's 10 to 15 is always 15 or 17. And so 5 to 10, I'll take 5 to 10 versus 10 to 15 any day.
And what's happened is last week we were talking, the mullet they just haven't been here in the big schools. I'm starting to see bigger schools of mullet showing up. So, second week of June is better than never. So, we'll do what we can with them. I'm pretty excited for that. And this big tide we've had and this east wind has cleaned the water up a little bit in the lagoon. Not a ton, but a little bit.
Well, just wait, Mike, because the mullet are coming. They are bunches and bunches of schools in the Banana and Indian River right now around Cocoa Beach, Merritt Island, Cocoa. They're moving that way, and there's actually fish following them. There's baby tarpon following them. There's snook. The redfish bite, especially in the Banana River, has actually been really good. So yes, you're going to get your influx of mullet any day now.
Yeah, a week ago I was making 20 casts for, 25 mullet. This morning I made 2 casts for about 30 mullet. So it's definitely getting better and starting to see the big droves. I think we're getting, I think we're on the precipice of everything starting to happen now. And I saw my first shrimp boat heading out yesterday, so that was kind of good.
Well, the tarpon flies have been here for about 3.5 weeks now, and so those tarpon aren't far behind the tarpon butterflies, those little white butterflies that we see. So I know they have showed up in a couple of places in the Indian and a couple of places in the Banana. Like you say, not in huge numbers yet, but they are coming, and so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I jumped a couple, I landed a few last week, but they were, all those, 40 to 60 pounders. I was out the day before yesterday, and I saw a few of 70, 80 pounders roll, but I marked a few that looked like they were, the 100 pounders.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to be able to get offshore finally some next week. It's been a little brutal for my boat, so I've been letting it sit in the driveway, and I'm excited. I'm excited because I feel like spring's coming in summer this year.
Well, you know what, Mike? Tuesday was the last, really nice day we had. The weather forecaster actually got it wrong in the right direction for a fisherman. They were calling 10 to 15, and basically it was less than 10 most of the day, and it went slick calm for probably about 3 hours in the middle part of the day. And I was fishing up towards the False Cape, right there in front of, between the ULA launch pad and Complex 39A, and there were pogie pods in there, and the tarpon were skyrocketing through the pogie pods. So, and of course, sharks in there as well. So we got to follow those fish along and got a couple of hooked. We did not land any, unfortunately, but it's so exciting to watch them just skyrocket through the bait pods and knock the bait in the air and do all that kind of stuff. It's
incredible.
The visual part of it alone is just really cool. So the hookup was sort of a bonus.
Yeah, Tuesday I picked up my clients. They were 30 minutes late, and as we're going through the ICW, there's tarpon rolling all around me, and I'm like, and all they wanted to do was go trout fishing. And I'm like, my bait guy fell through, so it was popping cork time, and we got some trout, but it was not a great trout bite, especially once that wind laid down. It got hot and got super slick, and that bite kind of went
it goes away.
Like that.
It goes away. Hey, Mike, real quick, you're talking about popping corks, and that's something that a lot of us have reverted back to, I would say. When we were kids, we used to use them all the time. Yeah.
I love them.
And then for a while, there was this, I don't know that we necessarily didn't fish them. We just didn't fish them as much because there was such a
backlash.
Push.
Everybody thinks it's cheating or it's a baby way to fish.
Well, there was such a push of new entries, new lures, new this, new that, and so you ran out there and you were buying all these new lures to try
like the
them.
Gold Spoon, it still works just as good as anything.
Exactly,
and that
Dave.
popping cork with a shrimp under it works as good as anything. Ever,
if not better.
Yeah, I was telling you when I came in this morning, I jumped a 50-pound tarpon the other day at my up in Destin on a popping cork and a DOA shrimp. 50-pounder. That cork never disappeared so fast. I was just like, holy cow. And then he just, that poor shrimp went flying.
I was going to say, and you're on your trout rig. You're not on your tarpon rig,
Exactly. I was trying to catch a trout.
Those tarpon love a DOA shrimp under a popping cork.
Oh, yes.
We jumped one last week on that. We had live bait back in them, and the kid was a little bored, so I'm like, look, when you see one roll, throw this about 5 feet in front of them and just a little bit, and just kind of pop it through and let it sit. Give it a couple pops, let it sit, and sure enough, we ended up jumping about a 40-pounder on a trout rod.
It's hilarious. It's fun.
It was a lot of fun. They don't stay on real well with those popping corks. They got a lot of ways to sling that hook, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yep. Hey, Mike. Speaking of the tarpon, the inside tarpon, you're saying that there's juveniles, those teenagers up to about 60 pounds are starting to show up. Do you find that they prefer one tide over the other versus, say, the bigger fish that show up later in the year?
We're kind of at that precipice where I was just telling my wife, I go, this is where I put all my time in, because every year they're a little different. Last year they only wanted that first hour of the incoming tide, and that was big, small, it didn't matter. But every year it's a little bit different. So I kind of try and figure things out, what the tarpon want. That's where specializing in tarpon in the summertime. Ooh, there's a bunch on the mark. Specializing in tarpon, you kind of have to figure out what their mood is that particular week, that particular day, that particular time. And that's one of the cool things with tarpon fishing. You get them dialed in, and all of a sudden it starts getting a little slower, and you're like, well, something's changed. Let's figure out what they're really wanting to do now.
Yeah. Well,
but I like the outgo when the water's fairly clean and there's a lot of bait around. I like that last hour of outgoing tide. Is usually where I find the best bite into that first hour of incoming. But that, it all depends on that moon phase, the barometer. I definitely do find that the bigger tarpon, I think will sit there sometimes when that tide's dropping. They'll sit there at the edges of creeks and stuff, and they're waiting for that mullet to just get pulled out. As that bait fish gets pulled out, they're sitting there feeding on them.
Gotcha. And obviously, from year to year, it's 1 year mullet is the ticket. The next is croakers, and can even change from week to week at certain times. I like the snook at Canaveral do exactly the same thing. One day that they're wanting shrimp, and then the next day they won't eat a shrimp. They want a croaker, and then the next day they don't want either of those. They want a spot, and then the next day they don't want any of those, and they want a mahara, or they want a pinfish, or they want a pogie. And so trying to figure that out sometimes can be a little challenging, to use one of your words. But with those tarpon, do you find that there's one bait that you can almost always say that they're going to pick up?
Croaker,
you think? Yeah.
Yeah, and you can fish croakers a lot of different ways. No weight, no float. Let them swim down to the bottom when you got the laid up tarpon that are kind of hugging the bottom. Croakers are great for that. You find them on the side scan and you drop it down. And then if you put one under a float, they get eaten really well too when they're up on the top. There's something about them. They're great for pitching up under not a shrimp boat, but like a sailboat or a stationary boat that's got tarpon rolling under it. It's one of the things we have up here. We have a couple of stationary boats, sailboats, and they haven't moved in years. So tarpon really like to sometimes hang up under them and right behind them.
Yeah, in the shade.
So we end up doing, croaker's great. You can pitch it up at the nose of it. It's going to swim down up under it and usually get eaten. Now, the downside is the tarpon usually go into the current towards the anchor.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got those anchor balls out there, and then all of a sudden now they're wanting to get you wrapped around the anchor balls.
Yep. We've definitely lost some tarpon there, and we've done some knitting and weaving trying to get the line unwrapped. It's the few tarpon we've had hooked up this season have definitely been interesting fish. They've been doing a lot of crazy runs. We lost one in the trolling motor because basically he jumped 30 feet from the boat, and then 2 seconds later he was on the other side of the boat, ran right under it.
Yeah, yeah. That's what tarpon do. Well, buddy, we're going to let you and Mrs. Mann get back to catching some fish, but how does somebody get a hold of you?
Yeah, I've got dates available still in June. You can reach me at area code 386-295-5991. You can go right to my website, fatfishguide.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, CAPT, Mike Mann with 2 N's.
Awesome, buddy. Appreciate it. We'll talk with you a little later this afternoon, see how you finished up.
Sounds great, guys. Get out there and catch a memory. Have a good one.
All right, you too, Mike. Take care. Hey, gang, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, Dave Ferrell and myself, Jim Ross. I got a whole lot more Catch a Memory, so don't go away. Grill's Seafood Deck and Tiki Bar is one of the Space Coast's most popular local hangouts. We love to kick back and relax at either of their waterfront locations with a cool tropical frozen drink and some of the freshest island-style seafood around. Grill's is known for its fantastic food quality, like their bacon-wrapped scallops, shrimp Cuban sandwich, or one-of-a-kind Bahamian fish chowder. The Tiki Deck features some of the area's best local bands throughout the week, plus Grill's has a fantastic breakfast menu, too. Chill out at Grill's original location in the Cove at Port Canaveral, right next to Sunrise Marina, or check out Grill's Riverside location on Highway US 1, just north of the Pineda Causeway. Go to www.grillsseafood.com for more information, and remember, it all happens at Grill's. Nobody likes to pay for insurance, but you have to have it. So do what I did. Go to Petrucci Insurance. They're your local independent insurance agent, and they're here to make sure you get the right policy to fit your insurance needs at the best price available. I gave Petrucci Insurance a call. They reviewed my current policy and saved me $700 on my home insurance alone. Plus, Petrucci found me better coverage than the policy I had with my other company that I'd been with for years. Don't waste money another day. Call Petrucci Insurance at 321-632-1200. That's 321-632-1200. And stop wasting money on your home, car, boat, and life insurance today. Trailer problems can be a real daybreaker. When you need to go to the area's best trailer supply and repair shop, try Ferguson's.
Family owned and operated since 1954 and located on Highway 192 in West Melbourne, Ferguson's has a huge supply of trailer tires, wheels, axles, lights, jacks, and other trailer parts in stock. If you're not a do-it-yourselfer, stop by and pick up the parts you need. If not, let their expert staff do the repairs for you. Ferguson's also installs electric brake controllers, trailer hitches, and goosenecks. They have a full line of automotive and marine interstate batteries, so if you need a trailer maintenance, repair part, or a new Continental boat trailer, go to the best trailer shop on the Space Coast, Ferguson's. Check them out at fergusonstrailersupply.com or call their shop at 321-723-5425.
Ace Hardware in Titusville has a huge selection of rods and reels from Penn, Daiwa, Shimano, and a bunch of lures from Rapala, Gulp, No Live Bait Needed, Mirror Lure, and Saltwater Assassin. They're your one-stop tackle shop on Highway US 1 up in Titusville. Ace also has Yeti coolers and accessories, all sorts of boating supplies, and an entire wall of sunglasses to choose from. And you know what? If you're looking for the best brands of fishing apparel, stop in because Ace has those as well. They're just minutes from all three of the Titusville boat ramps. Plus, Ace has a drive-through ice vending machine in their parking lot. So you can get out and, even while you're trailering your boat, grab some ice for your day's trip, and then check out the largest selection of fishing and boating gear in the northern Space Coast if it's during operating hours. If not, then you stop back by after you've been to the boat ramp. Check them out. Everything is going on up there at the Ace Hardware store on US 1 in Titusville. And this segment of the show is brought to you by Direct Graphics. Direct Graphics did our Catch a Memory, our Camo Radio Show shirts here. We appreciate them. Really comfortable shirts. Dave, I got you one.
All right.
For stopping in today. And of course, I was just thinking to myself, I was listening to that advertisement for Ferguson's. I have seen this week alone a handful, four or five, maybe six trailer issues with people pulling trailers, pulling their boats to the boat ramp. Blown tires, blown hubs, one broken spindle, broken like axle spindle or something.
It's my worst nightmare.
Guys,
It's my worst nightmare.
You've got all summer to go fishing, okay? You've got all summer to go fishing. You need to call Ferguson's in Melbourne, and they're right there on 192. Call them up, set up an appointment, get your boat trailer in there, and get everything tightened up on it that needs it. Because there's nothing worse than going to the boat ramp and having a wheel fall off, having an axle break, having your brakes lock up while you're driving at 70 mile an hour and start heating everything up.
My nightmare is between Chattahoochee and, and wherever, out in the middle of nowhere on I-10. Bang! Hey, what's that wheel passing me?
Exactly. And it just doesn't pay to not go get your trailer serviced. Yeah. Like mine, I had mine serviced last fall. Okay, well, I use mine a lot. Well, guess what? My right trailer light's already messing up.
Yeah.
My bunks,
salt water and
the carpeting on my bunks are wanting. I've worn through them again from loading and unloading the boat. So I've got an appointment with Ferguson to go down there and get it done. On this coming week. So yes, I've been in the middle of my boating season, but for those of you that may be just starting your boating season for the summer, golly, get your trailer in there and get it looked at. Ferguson's they get you in and out fast. Their prices are as good or better than anybody's.
I might have to call those fellas up. I'm due.
And they're just great people. They're just great people to deal with.
Yeah,
and so anyway, I would say that if you haven't, it's so frustrating being broke down on the side of the road having to fix something when you didn't really have to. Yeah. So
that's the first thing that goes in the back of my truck when I'm on a trailer run is my flatbed jack. I put my flat jack in there and all my wrenches and everything. I make sure that if anything does happen, I'm going to be able to fix it. All my bearings, extra stuff. The only thing, if a spindle breaks, you're out of luck. But yeah, I was looking at one boat trailer. It was a tandem axle boat trailer, but the front right side, the axle actually
cracked.
Yeah.
And so now, because the axle's cracked, it's not supporting on that side. It was making the tire rub up on the fender.
Right.
So
Then
now
it destroyed.
Now, so now your broken axle is creating a tire and fender issue.
Yeah.
It just the money just starts multiplying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad.
Exponentially whenever you get a problem
And that's
with that
the thing
magnitude.
too. When you got to wash that trailer down really well, especially us. We're in and out of salt water all the time. And even in something like a magnesium rims, magnesium or aluminum rims don't do well in salt water. They turn to powder after a while,
Yeah.
and the tire will leak and do that. Come apart, hit the rim, bang, bang, boom.
Yep.
Everything falls apart.
Blow
And,
the fender clean off of it.
Exactly. I just got new
the
rims.
tire always,
I went to get new rims, and I says, just put some cheap aluminum rims. I goes, man, that's why this other one won't hold air, because the rims destroy.
they corrode.
Correct.
And then they don't
So now I got
seal.
magnesium ones. They're a little more expensive. Obviously, he probably did that on purpose. But I like them. They look better, and they look new. And
Trailer maintenance.
hopefully they'll last longer.
Trailer maintenance is critical. So give Ferguson's down in Melbourne a call. It's definitely worth it. Dave, we were talking about editing, and obviously you've done tons and tons of editing for magazines and for different articles like that. But let's talk a little bit about where Dave has gotten to fish.
Oh yeah.
How many different places in say the state of Florida? Let's just start with the state of Florida. How many different places in the state of Florida have you ever gotten to fish? And is there any places that you would like to go fish that you haven't gotten a chance to or go back to?
Well, that's a tough one. I've fished all the way around. There's probably a lot of the places up in the Panhandle, in the Big Bend area, that I haven't got to fish. Cedar Key and in there, but I haven't fished much in really West Florida either, a whole lot. But I've fished all through the Everglades and South Florida and the Keys and Miami, and I grew up over here.
Yeah.
I haven't fished much in the Northeast, just a little bit. I'd like to fish more up there. I've done well.
What would you like
offshore up there?
I was going to say, what would you like to target in the Northeast section of Florida?
Blue marlin.
Really?
Yeah, there's a good blue marlin fishery off Jacksonville, and wahoo in the wintertime. It's hard to beat that place for big wahoo fishing. And I've shot a TV show up there a couple of times. And did really well with the wahoos, and I'd like to do that more. I like
those
catching wahoo.
guys. Obviously, they're in big boats. For the most part.
Usually,
they're
you got to go
big center
at least
console,
30 miles there.
Yeah,
I think, but we're going 60. Is what we're fishing up there. 65.
But you're getting legitimate shots at 80 plus pound wahoo.
There's big ones there in the wintertime. Yeah. We were doing a sport fishing magazine shoot one time, TV shoot, and they did sport fishing magazine TV, and we had like one day to shoot a show. A show had fallen through, and they needed to get a show.
Yeah.
And I said, well, this time of year, this was in January, end of January, beginning of February. I said, we gotta go to Jacksonville. Maybe we'll get lucky and catch some wahoos. And it turned out to be a slick, calm, beautiful day. We had both boats, we had to have a camera boat, so we were running both boats, 40 knots all the way out. Within 40 minutes, we had caught 6 up to 60 pounds,
my goodness. Holy
and
cow.
the show was shot. And,
Yeah.
It was just turned out to be, you can never shoot a show in a day. All these TV shows usually take 3 days.
Yeah.
Fellas that you see them over the course, it's usually a 3-day shoot. And, but this one, we were done, bam, one day. And we were talking about skyrocketing kingfish. Wahoo can skyrocket a little bit higher than a kingfish. I'd never seen a fish ever in my life, except for a photograph of a mako once that was up, eye level to a guy standing on the fly bridge.
Yeah.
But I saw these wahoos, and they were jumping way higher than this mako ever got. They were skying on our bait. They were way up there. I don't know how high. They were probably 20 feet in the air, which I don't know how fast that wahoo had to be going to get 20 feet up in the air.
I always tell people, like I use tarpon more of an example than anything else, but I'm thinking to myself, okay, put some flippers on, some swim fins on.
Oh, yeah. They're very powerful.
And a mask and snorkel, and see how far you can launch yourself out of the water.
Yeah.
And then compare that to what a tarpon can do at the blink of
an
an
NFL
eye.
running back can probably get as far out of the water as a tarpon, maybe, but not us.
But I mean, in the blink of an eye, they just two tail swishes and they're airborne. Just they just go.
Yeah, and blue marlin, they can jump. Sailfish can jump really high, but they can't swim as fast as a lot of people think they can. And if you look that's another one of those things where if you look in the dictionary, you look up on the internet, what's the fastest fish in the ocean? It'll say the sailfish every time. They say it'll swim 77 miles an hour or something.
Really?
Which is ridiculous. It's a lie.
I was going to say
no sailfish ever swam 77 miles an hour. Think if a sailfish was going 77 miles an hour, and once in its life it jumped straight up in the air, going 77 miles an hour.
He'd be in low Earth orbit.
The first second... He's, so how fast are you going? How many feet per second are you going?
Yeah.
When you're going 77 miles an hour, it's a lot.
Yeah.
He probably is 100 feet in the air at the end of the first second.
Yeah.
And he's still going up, by the way.
Like I say, low Earth orbit.
It's it's ridiculous that they think that those fish can swim that fast. I don't think any of them can swim over and this is Peter B. talking too. I mean, I talk a lot of Peter B. crap comes out of my mouth because I spent so much time with him. World famous marlin fisherman. I don't think any of them can swim more than probably 18 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour tops.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Think about it. Think about a jet ski going past you 20 miles an hour. When you're just sitting still. That's pretty quick.
Fast.
Pretty quick. Or a bicycle. A guy going as fast as he can on an electric bike, they go about 27 miles an hour. That's wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen a fish move that. I've seen a lot of blue marlins that were pretty close to 20 miles an hour. It seems like he ate on the short corner and the next minute he was jumping on the right corner.
Yep.
But I don't think he was going 50 miles an hour ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's a good point. Well, guys and gals, we're going to take our next break when we come back. We got a whole lot more with Dave Ferrell this morning, and we appreciate you guys and gals tuning in on the Facebook feed as well. And don't forget the WWBC app. You can download that to your phone and take us with you anywhere. We're going to be right back after these messages, so don't go away. Who's got the best selection of rods and reels from Penn, Daiwa, and Shimano? Lures from No Live Bait Needed, Rapala, Mirror, and Saltwater Assassin, and one of the largest selections of coolers and boating supplies in the entire state. Well, Ace Hardware in Titusville, that's who. Ace in Titusville is your one-stop shop for all of the fishing and boating supplies you'll need. Ace is just minutes away from the Titusville boat ramps, and their parking lot allows you to get in and out even when you're trailering your boat. Check out the largest selection of fishing and boating gear in the northern Space Coast area at Ace Hardware in Titusville on US 1.
Every week on this show, you hear light tackle fishing expert Captain Jim Ross teach you the latest tips and tricks to help y'all catch more fish. Now it's your chance to get that one-on-one attention to seriously improve your fishing skills. Call Captain Jim for an instructional fishing charter. Jim will help you become that angler you've always wanted to be. Learn how to read the water, spot cruising fish, tie knots, and cast like a pro. Give him a call at 321-636-3728 or check out his website, finelinefishingcharters.com, to book your instructional fishing trip with Captain Jim Ross today.
You know what? For over 40 years, Bud Light has been enjoyed by backyard barbecue enthusiasts, pool party goers, sunny days at the beach, and of course, celebrating your personal best catch with your friends. Because there aren't any artificial flavors or preservatives, the clean, crisp taste of a cold Bud Light shines through and goes with just about everything you want to do. Enjoy one of America's greatest tasting beers with your next adventure. Grab yourself some Bud Light. Guys and gals, this segment of the show is brought to you by Engel Coolers. If you haven't stopped in at your local retailer, you can stop over at Mudhole in Orlando. You can stop down at Strike Zone. There's a bunch of different places that you can stop in that handles the Engel product. Or you can just go to engelcoolers.com on the website and pick out whatever it is you want and have it shipped right to your door. But I'm telling you, you guys and gals are going to be impressed with an Ingle Cooler product, whether it's a soft-sided backpack, whether it is a tumbler, whether it is one of their AC refrigerator freezer type units. They've got ones that plug right into your car, right into your boat. So if you like taking bait offshore and you've got like a cabin-style boat, it's a great way to keep bait frozen on your boat with a simple 12-volt plug. Check them out at inglecoolers.com. You won't be disappointed.
My favorite little bait bucket.
Oh, they're little.
That little Ingle Cooler.
That little Ingle Cooler bait wells are. I mean, that's what I use for my shrimp. 90%.
One in my car right now.
Yeah,
the rechargeable one. Quiet.
Exactly.
It's incredibly quiet.
And I'll take a small Gatorade size bottle.
Mm-hmm.
The water bottle this time of the year, water bottle kind of runs out, but a Gatorade size bottle is a little bit more volume.
Frozen.
And I'll freeze it, and then I'll put it in there, and I only fill it about half full of water. They last all day. The shrimp last all day.
I packed that thing on one of my trips down south. We were doing a bait thing on the show, and I packed one of those Ingles full of pogies, man, and it kept them overnight. Overnight,
really?
Overnight. I couldn't believe it.
That's amazing.
Not pogies, pilchards. There, I bought them in Jupiter on the dock, and it had a dozen in there, and they lived overnight. I couldn't believe it.
You know, one of the things that you started doing was going and chasing snakeheads, and I know this is completely different than wahoo and marlin and all of those things.
Yeah. It's fun. Man.
That you were telling me that bite is incredible.
Yeah, they're ferocious. They're ferocious. And it's top water, which I love that more than anything in the world. And it's a lot of casting. I mean, you make a lot of casts, and you spook a lot of them because they see you, and they're very wary. They're looking at the bank the whole time, waiting for little ducks and frogs. And
really,
yeah.
So they're actually pursuing things that would come off of the shore into the water.
Yes, if you bounce something off the shore into the water, that's ideal. If you can bounce it from the shore into the water,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't really think about that as from a fisherman's perspective. That is valuable information.
They lay in wait, nose pointed to the shore, and if you drag everything is dragged right straight down the shore between 6 inches and a foot off the shore, and they just explode on it. Sometimes they're even closer to the shore and will come out. If it's
they'll
12
turn
inches,
around,
they'll turn
and go
around
the other way,
get it going away. But
now,
most of the time, it's towards the shore.
What is your average size snakehead?
Well, there's some guys that are catching their average is a lot bigger than mine, because most of the ones I was pursuing were in public parks and places where I could get access because I wasn't bringing my boat. But most of the ones I were catching were probably 3 pounds.
Okay.
And I catch a couple of them that were 6-7 pounds, and that were really big because they stretch. They're long. When they they carry their weight long.
They look half eel, half fish.
Yeah, and they have this beady little eyes and sharp teeth. Their teeth are wicked sharp. They cut through leader and tear your lures apart and frog. They like shiny stuff. A lot of guys will use spinner baits and stuff in deeper water. I've never had much luck fishing for them in deep stuff. Most of mine have all been chasing them along the shoreline.
And you're throwing like a
frog. Usually a frog.
Okay.
Usually a frog of some sort. Yeah. Or a rat. Just a collapsible piece of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a little rat comes down to a Dacron loop, and that little thing just wobbles and has a couple of real big a double hook rig in it.
Right. Same like a frog, like a soft frog would.
Like a soft frog. And all it has to do is move in front of their face. And if they don't know you're there, they'll eat it. But boy, if they have an inkling that you're anywhere around you, it's a tough bite to get.
So you are basically in the Miami Fort Lauderdale area?
It's mostly South Florida, yeah.
They don't get up to Central Florida, to my knowledge.
No.
Yeah.
It's too cold. Yeah, they can't take the cold, like the peacock bass.
Okay.
They'll never get up here. They just can't take the cold. Shoot, I lost a lot of fish in my lake this year from the freeze.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
Man. Yeah, that
bass or shiners or
little gizzard shad and some big bass and whatnot. Yeah. But I think that was mostly from they were spraying aluminum alum in there, to clarify the water. It wasn't to get rid of plants or anything. It wasn't
just to kill the algae.
Just to what it is it alum, when they spray it and mix it into the water, it attracts all the particulates and glops them up, and they all sink. So my lake will turn from a pea soup to a crystal clear spring over a course of a day. Because they take all the particulates out and sinks it to the bottom.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So going back to the snakeheads,
but they can shock it if they do it too much, and that's what they did.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, and they killed a bunch of stuff.
So if you're fishing in South Florida around these ponds, parks, different things like that, what is your typical setup for that particular? Because are you using like a steel leader or anything?
No, I'm using like 40-pound fluorocarbon.
Okay,
and I could probably, I like to use as light as possible that I can get away with.
Right.
So I use 40-pound or even 30-pound fluorocarbon. I will use 20-pound fluorocarbon, and a big frog with 15 to 20-pound braid, and a bait caster, or a spinning reel. It doesn't matter. But usually I'm using a bait caster.
Did you find that there was any type of water that they liked one better than the other, like a canal versus a lake?
They love filthy. They would live in filthy water. Doesn't matter. They don't care about water quality at all.
Really?
I've fished in some of the most nastiest canals. I didn't even like walking down them. And some of those canals in South Florida can be pretty bad. But but yeah, they will live in some filthy, nasty water.
So they can adapt to whatever they need to adapt to.
Yeah, clean, clear water, dirty water. They don't care.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they are really good to eat. I wouldn't eat them out of some of those canals.
Right.
But some of the places in Deerfield Beach and up around in there, in the clean water canals, I'd eat them all day. If out by the Everglades, and it's firm white.
That's what
meat.
I was going to think.
It's
like
snook.
Like around Holiday Park and some of those areas.
Yeah.
Because Holiday Park has a decent walk-in access to it.
Yeah, they have them in there.
Interesting.
Sure do. I fish for them.
And are they in there eating like the Oscars and the other cichlids and things like that? Or they just
I imagine they eat a lot of frogs.
So they're more terrestrial feeders.
They eat a lot of frogs, and they eat a lot of. I imagine they eat a lot of baby ducks and whatever wanders into that water, they're gonna get.
They're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And guys fish them with live bait too, I guess. But I don't. I'm just throwing frogs at them.
Now
sometimes I'll use a spinner bait if I'm fishing in an area that I'm not getting any bites, and I don't see any of them along the way up on the bank.
And you're just waking the spinner bait along, just trying to create a vibration.
Yeah, try to get a bite out of them on the spinner bait. They like those too.
Interesting. That's that reminds me of the way that we fish redfish in Jacksonville and Fernandina along the Spartina edges.
Yes.
When the water gets up to the Spartina, you can throw that. It has
spinner
to be
baits work here too, by the way. They work here too.
Yeah.
I catch them here too on the flats.
It's harder to use them now that we've got grass growing again. Though.
Exactly.
Because the type of grass
I
we
used to
have
use them a lot back in the day.
Wants to get wound up in the swivel, and then the spinner doesn't want to turn as good.
That's true.
But when that water gets about halfway up the Spartina grass, basically anywhere from about Ponce Inlet north, where you've got Spartina and oyster in particular, that water on a flood tide gets about halfway up the Spartina grass. That's when you can throw that spinnerbait down that Spartina edge. And it seems like once the water gets to the top of the Spartina, the fish are gone off the edge.
Yeah,
they've now moved into or Spartina. I call it Spartina.
That's what I call it. That's the first time I ever did that. Was in Louisiana.
They move into the grass, and so they're no longer on that edge. But as it's flooding in, and they're staging on that edge before they can really get into it good, man, that spinnerbait bite can be amazing.
Yeah, even at low tide, even too. They'll be hanging on the outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the water's touching the grass. That's good.
You can definitely tell a difference in when they want to eat versus when they're not eating. When you get those right conditions and that water level gets just right.
They're used to eating on the flood tide.
Yeah,
they want to get up there, and that's when everything.
They can
floods in there, and they can get in there and get to that stuff that they couldn't get to.
The
before.
Crabs and snails and all
everything
that kind
starts
of stuff.
moving.
Yeah,
that's what they want.
Absolutely. Well, guys and gals, we're going to take our top of the hour break. We come back. We got a whole lot more Catch a Memory coming back at you, so don't go away. Dave Ferrell and myself are going to be right back after these messages.
You're listening to WWBC, Cocoa, Melbourne, Titusville, 1510 AM, as well as W234BI, Cocoa, Rockledge, and W264AS, Rockledge, Melbourne, Palm Bay, and 100.7 FM.
If you're a shooting enthusiast like I am, you have to check out the incredible lineup from Kel-Tec. Developed and made right here in Central Florida, Kel-Tec is a leading industry manufacturer of shotguns, rifles, pistols, and guess what? They're all chambered in common calibers that we all love to shoot. Whether you're a weekend plinker or you want some advanced personal carry or home protection options, Kel-Tec makes exactly what you need. Find a dealer near you or check out the entire line of Kel-Tec weapons, accessories, and apparel by going to keltecweapons.com.
Your boat's upholstery looked great when it was new, but over time it gets dingy and stained. Starbright has the perfect combination for your problem. Starbright Ultimate Vinyl Cleaner and Ultimate Vinyl Guard. Starbright's Ultimate Vinyl Cleaner won't dry or fade your vinyl. It has powerful cleaning agents that blast away fish blood, grease, road grime, and more without harmful chemicals that ruin your boat's vinyl. Starbright's Ultimate Vinyl Guard is like a sunblock for your boat's vinyl cushions. It restores moisture and shine to sun-bleached vinyl without being slippery. Plus, it blocks harmful UV rays and helps keep your vinyl cleaner longer. Starbright Ultimate Vinyl Guard is great for plastic, rubber, and leather, too. It's ideal protectant for trucks and cars as well. Use Ultimate Vinyl Guard on your car or truck dashboard, seats, and door panels. Heck, you can even use it on the sidewalls of your truck or trailer tires. Starbright Ultimate Vinyl Guard makes all your stuff look great.
Batten down the hatches. We've got another great hour with Captain Jim Ross and this week's special guest starting right now.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in. This is the second hour of Catch a Memory Outdoors, and we appreciate you guys and gals tuning in to listen to what's going on. Dave Ferrell is my special guest, and I'm your host, Captain Jim Ross, and we appreciate you tuning in every Saturday right here to see what's going on up and down the Space Coast, and actually all over the place, because Dave has fished all over the world.
Oh, I have done that.
And, it's one of the things that is really cool to listen to stories that you've been talking about. You know what, Dave, I'm going to get the catch conditions out of the way real quick here. And let's see here. I've got a short movie from Captain Mike, who called in earlier. Let's see what he's got going on. Oh, yeah, it's sporty. Yeah, it's definitely,
that's a knee shaker.
Definitely sporty out there today. So we're not even going to venture out today. How's that sound? We'll just stick it out in here and go to breakfast afterwards. That sounds like a good plan to me. Well, anyway, it's supposed to be, according to NOAA, it's supposed to be 5 to 10. It's supposed to be 10 this morning out of the east, and then 5 to 10 tonight. Seas are supposed to be 3 to 4 feet with a dominant period of around 9 seconds. But looking at Mike's video that he just sent me, texted me, it's definitely a really tight 3 to 4 and very sloppy. He's got water splashing all over the place coming up the side of the boat. Ponce Buoy this morning, 80 degrees, 3 feet at 9 seconds. That's got to be the swell, because what I'm seeing on Mike's video is not 3 feet at 9 seconds. Current conditions at the 4-mile buoy are reading 79-degree water temp, 2 feet at 9 seconds, and the 20-mile buoy out of Canaveral, 81 degrees, 3 feet at 9 seconds. Sounds like it's 3 feet at 9 seconds swell with a 3-foot chop on top is what it looks like right now. Western edge of the Gulf Stream, 46 nautical miles out of Ponce, 33 out of Canaveral, and 28 out of Sebastian. And the current surf temps, 80 at Ponce, 79 at Cocoa Beach, and 80 at Sebastian. So it's pretty consistent temperatures up and down the coast right now. Tides look like this. We had a low just a little while ago, and we got a high coming up at 12:43 p.m. at Port Canaveral, and a low this evening at 6:39 p.m. And then at Sebastian, we've got a 12:39 p.m. high midday and a 6:45 p.m. low. Remember, the tide change at Sebastian is about 2 3/4 to 3 hours after the actual beach tide. So add 3 hours to that, and you should be pretty much right on time for that tide change. And the best times to get out there to hunt and fish, presented by All About Archery in Melbourne. The major this afternoon, 4:26 to 7:26 p.m. And the minor, now here's the interesting thing, Dave. The minors this week have been pre-dawn or right at dawn.
That's
and
probably
the
a major
fish,
to me.
and the fish haven't really been feeding on that. They were feeding on the major a little later in the day, much better. But now the major, because it cycles through, the major is pre-dawn, and the minor is at, it's like today is 10:43 to 12:43 p.m. The minor has become the major bite for the morning this past couple of days.
Yeah.
Because the major was not when we were on the water.
Right.
It was too early or too late. So the minor, yesterday's an example. We were triple tail fishing in the morning. Triple tail fish for about an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes. No bites.
Oof.
Nothing. Let's go snook fish. Okay. Couple of nibbles, but no bites. Okay. Let's go mangrove snapper fish. No bites. Okay. now we're 8:45, 9 o'clock. Okay. Let's go over here. There's been some flounder over here. Let's go see if we can get some flounder and catch some flounder.
Yeah.
No bites. Cannot give a shrimp away. Throwing jigs, throwing little soft plastic shrimps, throwing live shrimps. I'm like, guys, at one point we had probably gone for 20 minutes with the same shrimp on our hooks. When does that ever happen? That it doesn't get picked off by a pinfish or a something, right? I was just like, you've got to be kidding me.
This was all here at the inlet, huh?
This was at Port Canaveral yesterday. And so we landed one fish. It's 9:40 and we landed one fish. And I'm like, I was just about to say, guys, let's just call it a day. Apparently they didn't get the memo that we wanted to play today.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't show up. I'm like, let's go try one more mangrove snapper spot. Now it's about 10. Boom, first cast. Immediately eat the shrimp. The shrimp that's been on the hook for 20 minutes. I didn't even change shrimps. I'm like, I'm not wasting another live shrimp. Let's just throw the dead one in there. The heck with it. It barely got wet. Boom, mangrove snapper. Oh, here we go. And then boom, another mangrove. Boom, another mangrove snapper.
Nice.
Is it just the spot, or was it the time? Now I'm looking at the time, and it's 10 o'clock. We mess around there, get a couple more smaller fish. Let's go back and try the flounder spot, because the mangrove snapper were kind of small. They were, 11, between 8 and 11 inches. And I don't really like to keep mangroves less than 12 inches.
Nah.
You can keep them at 10, but you just don't get much off of them. By the time they get to 12 inches, you start to get a little more off of them,
It's like keeping a minimum-sized dolphin.
Right. You just don't get that much off of it.
Yeah.
So
3 months, the fish will be double in size.
Exactly. So let's go back to the flounder spot and check it out. So we go back to the flounder spot. Couple licks, but not really any bites. Well, let's go back and check the snook. See if the snook want to play. No. The snook were gone. I don't know where they went, but they weren't there anymore. I was like, okay, well, they just decided to leave.
It sounds like you're describing why I'm not a fishing guy.
So, okay, let's go beat our way back out and see if we can find some triple tail, because there's a ton of floating debris. There was trash, weeds, all kinds of stuff, plus the buoys to try and fish. We go back out, and within the next hour, so it's 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, we get 10 triple tail.
Nice.
In 1 hour. And it's like, it went from we can't give a shrimp away to we can't hardly get a shrimp in the water fast enough before a fish jumps on it.
Well, you found the right target.
And the right time.
Yeah.
Because yesterday morning, the minor, where's it at here? The minor would have been starting right about 10 to 10 after 10. 10, 15, because today it's 10:43.
Yeah.
So we found the right time, and now all of a sudden, the fish are eaten.
Yeah, it's crazy. And if you don't pay attention to that little detail, then you won't know. Maybe I should stay half hour longer.
Right.
You know?
Now, if we would have given up at that point and not gone and tried one more spot and just said, "Hey, let's just call it. They're not biting," we landed one pinfish, one big pinfish, at that point.
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah. We had a couple of missed fish. We had a couple that fell off the hook. A couple ladyfish that jumped off the hook. But we only had one fish to the boat in 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And so that extra 30 minutes, all of a sudden, now we finished up the day and we finished strong. We finished with mangrove snappers. We got some more jacks. We got triple tails. And it's just amazing the way that the bite can flip because of that Solunar table.
Yeah.
So I would recommend to you guys and gals out there, if you don't have a Solunar table app, I just use the one off of my deer stand hunting app.
Oh yeah.
I don't even it's not even a fishing one. It's just,
Yeah. They should be all the same.
It's an increased period of activity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to guarantee you get a bite. No. It's not going to say this is the only time they're going to bite, but it's an increased period of activity.
It will make me stay longer.
Which then can translate into better fishing / hunting / whatever. So if you guys and gals aren't really paying attention to that, I would highly recommend, check it out. Because if you're planning a trip and you're not during one of those periods, you're going to find that it's a little slower on most days.
Yeah. And it's usually tied somehow to the, it takes into account the moon phase and the tide and the time of day.
Yeah.
It takes all those things into account.
Yeah.
And that's why it comes around that way.
Yeah. And like yesterday was only a 2-star day out of 4 stars. Today is only a 1-star day out of 4 stars. But even though it's only a 1-star day,
you want to be in the time.
You want to be in the time. Yeah.
The right time.
You definitely on a 1-star day want to make sure you're within that window of increased activity. Man. On a 4-star day, they eat all day. I don't know why, but they do, but you only get like 1 4-star day a month.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, a lot of times we'll be fishing in billfish tournaments, and you'll be fishing. And, I've worked on the radio and I've been on the boats, during these tournaments. And all of a sudden,
it lights
tide will
up.
change or something will change, and boom, every boat's getting a hookup. And then that'll go on for 30 minutes or so, and then radio will go quiet.
Yep.
Nobody's getting a bite for another 3 or 4 hours. And then boom, right at the end of the day or something, it'll fire right off. And that's why I always tell people, never quit, especially when you're fishing in a tournament.
One more cast.
Don't quit,
Yep.
Because you don't know when that bite's going to turn on, and you might catch 6 in the last 30 minutes or, the last 5 minutes. Even.
We had that happen in a redfish tournament, an FLW tournament that me and my partner were fishing. We had one fish in the boat.
Yeah.
That we released a couple of small fish. We probably should have put the second fish in the boat, but we released all these little 22, 23-inch fish because they're not going to do anything for you.
Right.
You're wasting your time bringing 2 23-inch fish to the weigh-in. You are. In most cases, because a 26, 27-inch fish, a 27-inch fish weighs as much as 2 22-inch fish. So one fish is going to trump your 2.
Right.
Long story short, we're fishing. I said to Johnny, Johnny, let's go try one more spot, okay? And we stopped on it's a bar we call Tournament Bar up in Mosquito Lagoon. We stopped on the end of Tournament Bar, and there was no schools there. There had been no schools there all week. But I said, I've seen a few singles here and there just cruising this edge. And Johnny's like, we got to go.
Right.
We had one nice fish. I was like, Johnny, we're wasting time. We're wasting our time. We're wasting our efforts if we don't catch another fish. We are not going to place in this tournament. It's going to do us no good. We're going to come in 49th instead of 9th,
right? If
you will, okay? Or maybe better, because we had one good solid 26-inch fish. Second cast, he gets a hookup, and it shakes. Somehow the redfish fell off the hook. I don't know how. I cast right in behind it, thinking maybe there's a second fish. Cast right in behind him, reel, boom, I stick one. We pull him in. He's 27 1/8 inch. He's that much over. I'm like, he's going in the well, Johnny. He's going in the well. He's like, he's over. And I'm like, he isn't going to be by the time we get back. I said, watch this. And I took keep frozen jugs of water to put in the if it gets hot. Well, it wasn't all that hot that day, but we had 2 1-gallon frozen jugs of water. I took both gallon jugs out of the cooler, and I put those frozen gallon jugs in the bait well, in the live well tank, and we rode all the way back from Mosquito Lagoon to Titusville with those jugs. We shrunk that fish. He came in at 12 and 15 16th. He was actually a 16th under, and it put us in 6th place overall for the tournament. Took a check home, got the bonus money for the Yamaha points, got the bonus money for the Minn Kota points, and we ended up, getting a little over $3,000, where literally 3 minutes earlier and 3 or 4 casts earlier, we were sitting there with a handful of nothing.
That's how it happens.
So last cast of the day. Never quit fishing, Dave. Exactly.
Never stop.
Concur with exactly what you say. Never quit fishing. Yeah. Hey, guys and gals, we're going to take a break, and then we've got a caller on the line, so don't go away. We're going to be right back after these messages.
Greasy smears, fish blood, dirty footprints, and spilled food all create a mess on your boat's deck. Here's a fast and easy solution to clean them. Starbright Ultimate Extreme Clean. Just spray it on the spot, hit it with a deck brush, and rinse it off. Dirty vinyl cushions, greasy drips around your outboard, even those suspicious stains your fishing buddy always seems to leave behind, don't stand a chance when you squirt a little Ultimate Extreme Clean on them. Starbright Ultimate Extreme Clean works great to clean your grill and around the house. You can use it on your truck or lawnmower. It gets greasy stains out of clothing too. Just spray it on any greasy spot, give it a light rub, and they'll look like new again. Make sure you pick up some Starbright Ultimate Extreme Clean and lose those greasy stains today.
If you listen to this show, you know Captain Jim Ross is one of the top light tackle charter fishing captains here in Florida. Jim's been fishing these waters on the Space Coast his whole life and has been a full-time captain for almost 30 years. In that time, Jim's clients have landed thousands of personal best catches, including giant tarpon, redfish, and snook, plus a few massive black drum. So if you're looking for an incredible adventure, book your next charter excursion with Captain Jim Ross. It's simple. Go to finelinefishingcharters.com, click the reservations tab to see Jim's available dates, book the type of trip you want, and get ready to go catch your next memory.
The most trusted name in bass fishing is also the top soft plastic lure brand for saltwater species. Sea trout, tarpon, redfish, and snook can't resist a saltwater Assassin 4-inch sea shad. Its amazing swimming action sets the bar for swim bait designs. Others continue to try, but no one has been able to replicate the action of this incredible minnow-style lure. But Assassin has other proven designs. The native shiner-colored 5-inch shad Assassin is my go-to lure when I'm targeting big trout. Redfish love the drunk monkey or the mudbug-colored 4-inch Assassin shrimp. And snook and tarpon love their new little P&V dart bait in watermelon red flake or Houdini colors. You can rig these lures on a weedless worm hook or on the amazing Assassin Spring Lock jig head. So these are just a few of my favorite Assassin lures that help me and my customers stay happy. Check out what top professional anglers have known for years. Assassin lures simply catch more fish. Stop in your local tackle store or go to bassassassin.com to check out this incredible lure for yourself.
Hey, man, it's grilling season. And both Ace Hardware stores in Titusville have an incredible selection of outdoor grills and smokers to choose from. Titusville Ace carries all the best brands: RecTech, Big Green Egg, Weber, Traeger. You know all the best ones. They've got them all up there. Stop in and check out the huge selection that they have. And guess what else they have? They've got a huge selection of accessories for your barbecue grill, guaranteed to make sure that you're the neighborhood's backyard grilling pro. What could be better than a weekend afternoon of cooking some hot dogs or burgers on the grill, or biting into some mouth-watering chicken, brisket, or ribs you just pulled off your new smoker? Ace in Titusville doesn't just have grills in a box. They assemble all their grills and deliver them to your house for free. Nobody else does that. So why would you consider buying a grill from anywhere else other than Ace Hardware Store in Titusville? They have 2 locations, the original store on Highway US 1 that's got all the fishing tackle as well, and then their newest location that's a quarter-mile east of Garden Street, east of I-95. Purchase your new grill and have it delivered today. You can stop in there. You can listen to the radio show while you're driving to Ace right now, pick out your grill, and be cooking on it this afternoon. Only from Ace in Titusville. Make sure you tell them you heard about it right here on Catch a Memory Outdoors. Hey, we're going to go to the phones. Oh, wait a minute. Petrucci Insurance is the sponsor for this segment of the show. We want to make sure that you guys and gals don't get ripped off on your insurance. Call Petrucci Insurance Agency, 321-632-1200, and make sure that you're not paying too much for your car, home, whatever kind of boat, whatever kind of insurance that you need. We're going to go to the phone lines. We got Captain Jeff Brown on the line. Good morning, Jeff.
What's up, guys?
Oh, I appreciate you watching the Facebook feed this morning, and made a little comment about some hog hunting. I've seen you've been killing some lately, and it sounds like it's been there's been a continuation since the last post that I saw is what I'm going to go at.
Go with. I just dropped a 200-pounder off at the landfill. It's crazy. And it's pretty much, for me, it's not hunting. It's eradication because of all the neighborhoods that are just becoming overrun with these things. They're just everywhere. And I think Florida is about to see some big problems. I don't want to see it get like Texas, but I'm afraid those days are coming.
Well, Jeff, we have developed so much of our wild areas, so much forest land, so much even wetland. Developers are coming in and chewing up wetland and buying mitigation credits and developing them. And so where the hogs used to live, now they can't live because somebody's got a 4.2 on a postage stamp size lot with St. Augustine all in the way, and so what used to be their habitat and their home is now gone. Somebody's built a house on it.
Well, here's part of the problem, and it's not so much that because a lot of the people that we hear the complaints from about stop killing the hogs. They deserve to live. Number one, they're invasive. They don't belong here. 2, they destroy everything.
Yes, they do.
You think about the turkey nest they're destroying, just the damage to the property they're doing. It's a problem that's going to continue on and on and on. Here's the real issue. These hogs are breeding at 8 months old, and they're dropping 2 litters a year.
Yeah.
Unless you knock down unless you can knock down 70% of the population, it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. What we see happening is, and I don't want to pick on people from up north or out west, but they move here and they're like, leave the little piggies alone until they come in their yard and tear up their yard. When it comes to the habitat, we have to remember that all of us live in houses, right? Well, guess what? That was habitat at one time.
Exactly.
So you can't preach about stop and destroy habitat when you're living in a house that was built on top of some habitat.
That was built on the pig's old house. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's the growth is not going to stop. We're not going to stop that commercial growth. And you're not going to stop the pigs at the way we're dealing with them. There's a neighborhood, Avalon, down in East Orlando, that the entire neighborhood is like, leave the pigs alone. But then they pick up the phone and go, hey, they've torn up our yard. They're destroying $3,000 worth of St. Augustine grass. You got to do something with them. Can't you trap them and release them somewhere else?
You make them somebody else's problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the issue. They're invasive species. As a licensed trapper and a feral swine dealer, I cannot release those pigs anywhere. They have to be eradicated. Under Florida law, you can't release an invasive species back into the wild.
Right. Because
of the problems that they cause. So everybody gets mad about the fact that we have to put these things down and euthanize them. But if we don't start doing something and get on it a little bit more, it's going to become a huge problem. The one neighborhood that I work out in Oviedo, I have actually taken, this morning makes 55 pigs in 60 days out of that neighborhood.
Wow.
And there's still another dozen in there. And in 8 months, there's going to be another 36 in there. So, the hog population is just growing and growing and growing.
Jeff, real quick, if you live in a neighborhood that is having hog issues, Are you, as the homeowner, allowed to hunt them if they come into your yard? Is that legal, or do you have to have a license, like a person like yourself, a licensed person, come in and get rid of them?
No, you don't. The way that Florida considers wild pigs is they are domesticated animals. That's the way they're considered. FWC wants nothing to do with them. Nobody in the state or the counties Orange County doesn't want anything to do with them. They're considered domestic animals, and they belong to the people's property that they occur on. So if there's a wild pig in your backyard, if you can shoot legally in a residential area,
right,
then go get it.
That's the thing.
There are other ways of getting them. I've had people rope them and set traps and all kinds of stuff.
Snares, different things like that.
Yeah.
Just like a peacock in your yard.
You got to be careful with snares and leg traps and stuff, because most of those are illegal in Florida.
Right.
However, you can take out all those pigs you want on your own property. There's no season. There's no licenses required. You can't do anything with them. You can't sell them or do anything like that. You got to have the proper.
I got a crock pot. You can put one in.
You can cook them. You can cook them yourself.
I'm gonna say I got a crock pot.
You can put a pen in your backyard and feed them corn for 30 days and then kill them.
Well, here's the kicker to it, and I do sell pigs. If somebody calls and says, "Hey, I need a 100-pound pig for a barbecue," I'll sell them a pig. I cannot sell any meat under USDA regulations. I'm not licensed to sell meat because I'm not inspected. However, if you buy a pig from me, I can go and harvest that pig, and then I can clean your pig. But I can't, if that makes sense to you, I can't sell the meat. I have to sell the whole pig.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of where it's at. And we do that. We do that quite frequently. So there's a lot of, and people think, oh, they're stinky things, but that's some of the best meat you can have.
Mm-hmm.
We make a lot of jerky with it.
I was going to say, and generally in the spring and early summer, they're on fresh, tender leaves. They're on blackberries. They're on blueberries, wild-grown blueberries and blackberries and things like that. So a lot of times in the springtime, they taste pretty good. Now, an August pig, you don't want an August pig. August pigs are horrible. Yeah, August pigs are, unless you got a corn feeder, but August pigs, they're eating saw palmetto berries. They're eating gallberries. They're eating stuff that makes them taste like your flip-flop. I mean, they're horrible in that. But then you look at later in the year and the acorns start dropping and they get on the acorn bite and then it sweetens the meat back up and they taste good again. So a lot of things, I guess a lot of it depends on the time of year, doesn't it, Jeff?
And a lot of it, your food sources, you look at squirrels. You don't shoot squirrels out of a pine tree because they eat pine cones and they taste like a pine cone.
Yeah,
so that's the same thing with hogs. I mean, they basically will eat just about anything.
Yeah,
they love turkey eggs, I can tell you that. But most of the ones that we harvest, I run feeders. So, and that's how we keep them out of the neighborhoods. I get in the woods behind the neighborhood, run feeders, and we take them out back there.
Yeah.
So they're always. I mean, their stomachs are packed full of corn every time.
They like jelly donuts too.
Yeah, yeah. We used to bait them with donuts for sure.
They like donuts. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's so do squirrels. There's an overabundance of them, and everybody and their brother now is trapping pigs and killing pigs and working neighborhoods, and it's the construction's not going to stop. The pigs are going to get worse, and we're going to end up like Texas if we don't get a handle on these things pretty soon.
So if somebody's having a pig problem, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can just call me at 407-810-3474, and it's all under contract and stuff, and I don't do it for free. I'm probably one of the cheapest guys around because I just enjoy hunting, but that's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Well, you're doing a really good service for people that don't have the ability to do that for themselves. So if somebody's in their HOA subdivision and they say, Jeff, I need some help, they're chewing up my azaleas and everything else, and you come in there, they can say, okay, I want to buy that pig back from you, and then they can have some retribution for their azaleas.
Yeah, exactly. It might be cheaper to go buy more azaleas, but yeah, we'll, and that's the thing and we do supply some of the trophy hunting places that, the hog hunting areas where people pay to hunt. We'll supply some of them with, if we catch them live, and we'll take them out there and turn them loose, and then people can come down from up north or wherever and take their kids out and hunt, the wild pigs that just got trapped.
Yeah. Well, buddy, we appreciate what you do, and I love seeing your stuff on Facebook. So keep posting it up. We appreciate it very much.
All right, man. You guys stay well.
All right, buddy. Take care. That was Captain Jeff Brown. You can look him up on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or whatever the heck else. I don't know how many, all of those social things that he's on. So
I remember when we used to love to get those pigs that lived around the orange groves because they'd be eating oranges all the time.
Yeah,
they were pre-marinated.
Exactly. And like you say, snakes. They'll eat everything, but they
till up the ground too. They are
hard on the turkey population.
They've been here since when the first Spaniards gathered here.
Yeah.
They've been here for I don't know, 500-600 years now. I don't know. Can they be considered invasive after you've been here 600 years? I don't know. They've been here a long time.
I mean, they haven't filed for reparations yet. So.
No, I don't know what that would mean, but they have been here a long time. They've been part of Florida forever.
Yeah,
probably longer than the cow.
I enjoy. We've got one that comes into our feeder. I need to go cull him out. It's a male, and he's getting to the point where he's about to get too big.
Yeah,
but we call him tripod.
Yeah,
because his left rear leg
is longer
from the knee down is gone.
Oh, something got him.
We think the alligator got him.
Might have, yeah.
Because we've got a little swampy area, and we've got about an 8 or 9 foot alligator in there, and they come through that swamp to get to where my feeder is.
Might have got him a ham hock.
And one day he showed up, and he's still fresh wound.
Yeah,
that's what it was. And you could see he was pretty tore up on his left side, like the gator jumped and got him on the leg or whatever, and then eventually twisted and rolled and from the knee joint down. But he's healed up now. In fact, last night 6:30, 7 o'clock, he's standing there at the feeder. Feeder was going off, and he was standing there. He was like looking at his watch, going, "Okay, this thing's gonna go off any minute."
Yeah.
And it's funny because when he gets scared and runs. To watch him run, he runs really well. He's figured it out.
Oh yeah,
but he can't.
It's like a 3-legged dog.
Yes, but he doesn't stand very well or move short distances very well because that second leg he wants to use it all the time, but he can't.
Is it a front leg or a back leg?
It's a back leg,
yeah,
back left leg. So he you can see him trying to use it. He's moving it, but it doesn't touch the ground. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, we need to.
Poor fella.
We need to go up there and invite him home for dinner. Like I said, I've got a crock pot. So
there you go.
And then we've got another one we call Tank, and I don't know if he is all wild or not because he looks like he's got some pot belly in
Well,
it.
it's amazing how a pig, even a wild pig, will have every once in a while there'll be one that's pure white. It's got spots on him. A black ear and a white ear. Yeah, it's crazy because the genetic.
Well, this one he's not shaped
variety
like a regular hog.
Yeah,
he looks like a rectangle.
Yeah,
I mean,
I imagine pigs are kind of like people, though. We're all different.
We're all different.
We all got the same DNA. We're all humans.
Yeah,
we're all shaped different. Me and I'm 5'9". So was Walter Payton, and our bodies are a little different.
I can tell you that they are. I know Walter, and I can tell you.
Yeah.
I tell you who else I know. It's 5'8". I'm 5'8".
Who's that?
It was I'll think of it after the break.
Spud Webb.
No. Thurman Thomas.
There you go.
Thurman Thomas, Buffalo Bills, and then Miami running back. I had him on the boat a couple of times. Thurman is built, dude. You want to talk about a fire plug?
Yeah, man.
That dude was rock. Yeah. It was like somebody chiseled him out of granite. I've never seen a human being that was that hard.
Yeah.
In my life.
Oh, yeah.
Until him, and that dude was
took a pounding too.
He was a rock. He's fighting a fish, and you come up and you put your hand on his shoulder or something.
You go, holy cow!
Yeah, it's like grabbing a brick.
Yeah, I know. Those fellas.
I was like, holy cow, dude!
I was never that way.
I tell you what, when you watch his running style, they could be a 6'8" defensive tackle,
Yeah.
He didn't care.
He jumps into you.
He didn't care. He was taking you on.
Yeah.
You know, he had this you're not beating me attitude. Yeah. And
all the best running backs were little fellas
why he had that, because he had the physical build to back it up, even though he was a whole foot shorter and 120 pounds lighter. You know, but it's pretty cool. Well, guys and gals, we're going to take our last break. No, second to last break of the day. When we come back, we got a whole lot more with Dave Ferrell and myself. Don't go away. Catch Your Memories coming right back after this.
Hey guys, Captain Blair Wiggins here. I'm sure you're aware of the ongoing projects out there that are aimed at restoring seagrass and water quality in the Indian River Lagoon system. Well, here's one that I'm proud to have played a role in getting started, the Indian River Lagoon Clam Restoration Project. I collaborated with Whitney Labs, CCA, the FWC, and many other partners to implement this clam restoration project right here on Florida's East Coast. I would love for every one of you to get involved with this program. Your $20 donation will put 200 clams back into our lagoons. As they grow, these 200 clams will filter over 1 million gallons of lagoon water per year, greatly impacting the health of our local waters. Your contributions are tax deductible, so please help our lagoon by donating $20, $50, $100 or more to this cause. You can make your donation online at IndianRiverClamProject.org/support. Again, that's IndianRiverClamProject.org/support. And on behalf of myself and our waters in the lagoon, we thank you.
Sunrise Marina Bait and Tackle Shop. They've been serving Brevard County anglers for over 25 years. Sunrise has all of the gear that you hardcore anglers need for a productive day on the water, and they've got frozen baits like ballyhoo, sardines, squid, and more. Plus, Sunrise Marina has a great selection of live baits, shrimp, pinfish, croakers, mud minnows, fiddler crabs, and a whole lot more. So if you're looking for tackle, rods and reels, boating accessories, fresh-made sandwiches, or your favorite beverages, Sunrise Marina has got everything for you, and you can ice it all down with some bagged or bulk ice at their convenient, trailer boat-friendly drive-thru. Sunrise Marina also stocks some really cool nautical gifts, as well as the performance clothing and casual clothing that anglers like you and me like to wear. Make sure you stop by Sunrise Marina before heading out before your next fishing adventure. They're easy to find right across the street from Grill's Restaurant at 505 Glen Cheek Drive in Port Canaveral.
Hey guys, gals, welcome back. This segment of the show is brought to you by Mudhole Custom Tackle, and we appreciate Mudhole Custom Tackle being this sponsor of this segment of the show. If you guys haven't stopped over in East Orlando, there are a few places around that are destinations, and I would definitely consider Mudhole Custom Tackle in Oviedo to be one of those places. They've got all the best brands over there. They've got huge selection, great facility, very well laid out. If you haven't stopped over there, check them out. They're over there at 2133 Component Loop. You can't miss them once you get into Component Loop. They are the last building on the southwest side of that particular little road right there, and they just have a fantastic shop. So stop in, tell them you heard about it here on Catch Your Memory Outdoors, and they've always got some kind of an event going on. So every time that we have knowledge of that, we'll be giving you guys and gals heads up so that you can get over there because they typically do quite a few events throughout the year to help anglers get out there and save some money, first of all, and then have the best product that they can get out on the water and catch more fish. You know what, Dave? Got a bucket of Starbright product here for you, compliments of Starbright, and that way you can keep that nice little boat of yours all tightened up, cleaned up, and everything else.
It's looking pretty good right now, I have to say.
Yeah, I have been using this citrus boat wash and wax, and that I really like that wash and wax. It seems to it doesn't strip the deck wax off of the boat, and yet it cleans things very, very easily. Right. So I'm really impressed with this super orange citrus boat wash and wax. You guys and gals should check it out for yourself. But do you have a particular Starbright product?
They just came out just recently with this new wash that's supposed to be really good.
Direct release.
Yes, and it's good for your environment and everything, so you don't have to. And where I wash my boat, I live on a lake, and where I wash my boat in my driveway, 3 feet off the edge of my driveway is a culvert.
That goes right into the lake,
and it goes in that culvert and straight to my lake.
Yeah.
I could see the bubbles coming out in the lake.
Yeah.
So to me, that's one of the most important things is to take care of my lake that I live on, and I'm washing a boat in my driveway. I want to whatever's coming off my boat not to hurt my lake.
Exactly.
And that's what I like about Star Bright.
What's nice about all of their products is they're all very, very environmentally friendly.
Correct.
They try to make them as effective as possible and yet as environmentally friendly as possible.
Yeah.
Like you say, the new direct release soap, I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and we actually debuted that
at the event.
At the Sea-Safe event. We
Correct.
debuted it there. And I have been really pleasantly surprised at how well that works as well.
If you're using any product, to me, just that alone for the Star Bright stuff is how concerned they are with Florida and our environment is the number one reason to use it.
And they're constantly working to create better products for us.
Right.
Their new line of ceramic products are very good as well. I've been very impressed with a lot of that stuff. It has a tenacity to it. It wants to cling and stick. Whether it's a metal protect, whatever the vinyl protector, whatever it is, it has this tenacity to it where it just wants to cling and not get washed off.
And if you have non-skid, the non-skid deck cleaner is the best on the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a miracle. Really, it is.
It lifts
some of the stuff,
when
you're out there throwing that cast net, especially in freshwater, if I'm getting shiners and stuff, and throwing my cast net and getting all that mud and dirt on my non-skid, it's incredibly hard to get off without scrubbing. And you throw that non-skid cleaner on it, and it washes away.
It's
stuff
like,
that I had to scrub
it's like
forever.
magic. Yeah, it's like magic.
Which, it's probably not good for my upper body strength. Because that was probably the only exercise
you were getting. Yeah,
was scrubbing.
Deck brush time.
But now I don't have to even scrub. It's great. Just rinse that stuff right off.
Well, Dave, we were talking earlier about marlin, and you said Northeast Florida has a great marlin.
Yeah,
bite.
they have a marlin club there in St. Augustine.
We actually had quite a few marlin caught here in April and early May. More so than I would say on a typical year. Mm-hmm. Now, I think
usually the reason for that is if it's been not very windy and a lot of boats have been able to go out and catch tunas. They're mostly out there chasing tuna fishes, and that's when they catch those marlin.
That's what I was going to say was we had, I think it was just due to the sheer number of anglers getting offshore and doing that type of fishing. Because, I heard of guys, even on this side of the stream, hooking into marlin this year. And we had a decent dolphin run this year, which really helped a lot too.
Yeah.
But you were saying that Northeast Florida area is really good for marlin. And is that a year-round type fishery, or is it just a certain time of year?
I would say it's in the summer mostly, spring and summer. Deep into the summer even. You said that we caught a few blue marlins on this side of the stream. Doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
If the tunas stay on the other side of the stream, the marlins stay on the other side of the stream. The marlin will go where the tunas go. And if you get a lot of bait coming across and a lot of yellowfin tunas on this side or skipjacks, then the marlin will be with them. Yeah. Even little tunnies.
Well, I was going to say, in this case, I think it was the dolphin.
Yeah.
Because they were actively chasing dolphin.
Yeah, they will. A blue marlin will eat whatever is the most of what is around them. Tuna is usually their favorite food. But if there's a ton of dolphin around, they'll be keying on the dolphin. Yeah. If there are a ton of little filefish around, they'll be eating little tiny filefish.
Really?
Yes. If there are tons of red blowfish around, you'll open one up and he'll have 500 red blowfish in his belly. They eat whatever is the most around at the time.
Yeah.
They prefer to eat a big fish, wants to eat a decent meal. A big fish wants to eat tunas.
Yeah.
That's what they're made to eat, is they really want to eat tuna fish.
Switching gears just a little bit. In the summertime, Canaveral has a tendency to go kind of dead. with the exception of king mackerel.
Yeah.
Our dolphin bite's not that good. Our tuna bite's not that good. Our wahoo bite's not that good. Our sailfish bite's not that good.
It depends on the heat.
But
really.
what's interesting to me is down in the east region, down around St. Lucie, Jupiter, that area, they get a mid-summer sailfish bite.
Yeah. They have a year-round sailfish population.
You think it's just structure related, bait related?
It is.
I mean, what is?
They have that reef down there. In 120 feet of water, they have a nice, beautiful reef that stretches all the way from West Palm all the way to South Florida. You know, you get out to 120 feet, you know, Fort Pierce even, you know, 120 feet of water, structure, you know, and it's easy for those sailfish to find the bait because the bait goes up against the structure, and usually in that certain area between 100 feet and 180 feet of water, there are going to be sailfish in there.
And that area in that part of the world is much more compressed, much more compact.
Correct. Because on the other side of that is the abyss.
Yeah.
So it does. It's a fenced-in area. You have the abyss on one side and the shore on the other. And up here, the further north you get,
everything
spreads out further and further. Yeah. And our sailfish season here is in October.
Yeah.
You know, the fall months. We'll have the fish coming from the north, bucking the current, coming back down from the cold. The sailfish will come back down the Gulf Stream. White marlin make a big loop. White marlin, instead of coming back down this way, they will continue going north all the way to Nova Scotia, all the way back around to the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and come back down that way. Big marlins will do that too. Sailfish don't like cold at all, so they'll turn around and come back down.
And swim back, yeah.
And that's why we have that. And there's always a population of sailfish in South Florida. You can catch them right now. You'll catch them all through the summer. There'll be a few around because we have a resident population that lives along that reef.
Yeah,
from Fort Pierce to Miami.
Like you say, that reef being
all the way to the Keys.
Such a constricted area in that, and you also get the water coming out of St. Lucie from Okeechobee. And so from St. Lucie north, you start getting that fresh water blended into that salt water, and the fish that we do catch seem like they're farther offshore. They'll be out on 180, 200, 220 feet. They won't necessarily be inside especially if it's been rainy and they've been doing a lot of discharges out of Lake O.
Yeah.
Down through the St. Lucie.
I catch them you can catch them along, Pelican Flats.
Right.
Bottom.
Right.
They're a sailfish isn't afraid to get into green water, but they don't like cold water. They really don't.
That's their
They'll
kryptonite.
get in shallower, but they don't like cold water. No billfish really does.
Yeah.
Great big billfish will tolerate waters into the lower 70s, but they don't like they're not cold water fish.
Yeah, it's interesting that
good fish to chase if you like tropical climes and palm trees.
Yeah, sailfish do go with palm trees, don't they?
Blue marlins, all of them do. Yeah.
Well, guys and gals, we're going to take our last break of the day. When we come back, Dave Ferrell and myself, Jim Ross, got a whole lot more Catch Your Memory, so don't go away.
StarTron enzyme fuel treatment makes all engines run stronger, smoother, and helps them get better fuel economy. The enzymes in StarTron improve the quality of all fuels so engines start easier, even if they haven't been run for several months. Don't just stabilize your fuel, tune it with StarTron. StarTron enzyme fuel treatment can also be used in 2- and 4-stroke engines, trucks, lawnmowers, generators, motorcycles, four-wheelers, basically anything that runs on gas. You can also get StarTron diesel fuel treatment for your truck, boat, or tractor, or construction equipment. If you want to fuel more power, tune your fuel with StarTron. Is your home under attack from pests or termites? Or have furry wildlife made themselves way too comfortable in your attic? At Integrity Pest Management, they specialize in getting rid of pests, termites, and wildlife safely and effectively. With years of experience and commitment to integrity, they protect your home from unwanted invaders using eco-friendly and efficient solutions. Don't wait for the damage to pile up. Call Integrity Pest Management today for a free inspection and let them restore peace and security to your home. Call 321-637-1199 or visit them at integritypestmanagement.com. Integrity Pest Management, where your home safety and your peace of mind are their top priority. Hey guys and gals, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in every Saturday right here to Catch Memory Outdoors. And you know what? Budweiser is celebrating its 150th birthday as America celebrates its 250th birthday. You know, milestones define greatness. In 150 years of brewing Budweiser, that's pretty impressive.
That's a lot of trips to the
think about it. Think about all the smiles they've created. Think about all the laughter, that's, unforgettable memories that have gone around, both good and bad. You know, that hold my beer memory can be just as good as those happy times.
I've had a lot of them.
But they do make a unique Beechwood aged American-style lager for you all to enjoy. Carroll Distributing, your local Budweiser distributor, invites you to celebrate America's 250th birthday with Budweiser's 150th birthday with an ice-cold Budweiser, because you deserve what every individual should enjoy regularly.
An American tradition.
Exactly. The king of beers. The king of beers, no doubt. My waistline just can't stand the king of beers anymore, unfortunately. I drink one beer and I get 5 pounds heavier. I'm like, how did I get 5 pounds out of one can?
Probably the least of the things affecting my waistline. I eat way too much good food. That's my problem.
Well, doing what we do, I've said this before. As an example, with fish, we become fish snobs.
Oh, dude,
I don't. If it's frozen, I don't even want to eat it anymore.
Yeah, it's hard for me to go out and eat any kind of fish. Yeah. Really hard.
Because when you catch it fresh and bring it home and you've just filleted it and you prepare it the way you want to prepare it, dude, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, it's just fresh and tasty, and then you eat a piece of fish that was vacuum sealed, and it was okay, but so was a Mrs. Paul's fish stick if you're really...
And I'm paying.
Right.
I'm paying a lot.
Right.
Yeah. I can't... it's hard for me to pay. I have to... there's restaurants I'll go to, like that Grant place, Grant Seafood.
Oh, yeah. Old Fish House, yeah.
That place is great. I don't mind paying for that. But there are places where I'll go and I just don't, I ain't buying
One
seafood.
of my favorite places in the whole world is Lazy Days down in Islamorada.
Yeah. You got to be able to see the sea for one.
Yeah. Sitting on the upstairs outdoor porch deck and having a platter of, let's say, yellowtail snapper that you just brought in for them to cook for you, and doing it Lazy Day style, where they do the panko fry, and then they put it in, they fry it, and then they put it on a platter, and then they sprinkle a little bit of cheese and some different seasonings and stuff on it, and bake it, and then they do a little bit of a key lime butter drizzle over the top of it. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, man.
I'm ready to go eat now. But to catch it and cook it that same day, there's something about that. It's just really special, and
that's why I go pompano fishing.
And that's so I eat when I eat stuff like that. I tend to overeat because it's like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah, I made some beef stroganoff last night. Pretty much eat half the beef before the family gets a shot at it. But I order plenty. So I know what's going to happen ahead of time.
Yep.
But I'm slicing that beef up for the one for me, two for them, one for me, two for them.
Well, yeah, it's quality control. You have to make sure it's edible, right?
That's
you don't want to serve something that's not edible.
That's right. It's got to be tender.
Well, Dave, we were talking about marlin, and
yes, sir.
And you are such a great wealth of knowledge about all of the offshore fisheries. Watch migration patterns, temperatures, all that kind of stuff. As we come into this time of the year, for the Central East angler that may be wanting to go offshore, what would be one or two of the things that you would point to them about what they want to target? Would it be king mackerel? Would it be bottom species? Would it be maybe those yellowfin tuna on the other side of the stream?
Yeah, well, that's always been a personal preference type thing.
Okay.
I know guys who love to catch tuna fish. Personally, I'm not a big tuna fish guy. I don't want to have to get up at 2:00 in the morning, go all the way across the stream, get my brains beat out, going and coming, fishing long ass days, not coming back till 24 hours later.
Yeah, right. Sometimes,
for some tuna fish, and for meat. They're meat fishing.
Yeah, right.
And which is all well and good. I personally, when I'm fishing out of the Cape, I'm fishing for mainly two fish. I want to catch wahoo and a dolphin and a kingfish, maybe.
Okay.
I know where I can usually catch a kingfish, so he's probably what I start out with during the day. I'll go and catch my kingfish because I want to catch a fish to smoke, and then I'll spend most of my day trying to catch dolphins and wahoos, using big sea witches on planers for my wahoos, and double artificials on the surface, like a dolphin chaser rig, and maybe a couple of naked ballyhoos.
Okay.
On top, and then
very natural, small natural
correct.
presentation.
And the rest of it is the deep trying to get a wahoo bite.
One of the biggest wahoo. This has been a while, but one of the biggest wahoo that I ever caught when I was mating, before I even started running as a captain, just running as a mate, I caught 150 feet. I had 150 feet of downrigger line out, and we were running a black Islander Express, big,
wow,
big. Typically,
that's a marlin lure.
Typically associated as a topwater, smoking and chugging style lure.
Big shiny head.
We put it down on the downrigger, with a horse ballyhoo.
It looked just like a sea witch to a fish,
basically
100 feet down,
basically. And we were trolling that along, and one of the biggest wahoo we ever got, it was 78 pounds.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Was just, he just absolutely smoked that thing.
Yeah, the biggest dolphin I've caught out of here was on a blue and white islander on a downrigger.
On a downrigger.
Deep.
Yeah, it's,
on an
come to think of it, we sailfish and dolphin both came off of that rig.
Yeah. I
had one captain that I worked with for a short period of time, and he's like, put that thing out there, and he's put it out and put it down, and it was kind of so unconventional for that particular lure, being built and designed as a chugging style, smoking style lure.
It's a flat faced lure.
Yeah.
So it doesn't swim a whole lot. It's a pop. It pops.
It pops and catches smoke.
And so underwater it doesn't do any of that.
No.
It just goes straight, which is what you want it to do. You want your things underwater to not move that much. You want them to be just the tail moving.
Yep.
You don't want, and the same thing with a bait on the surface. If I'm up in the fly bridge and I'm watching a marlin, jump over himself trying to catch what I've got out there, something ain't right. He should be able to come up there and just wail on
it. Yeah.
I don't like that thing to be making 3-foot swoops, unnatural, swooping back and forth, and him trying to catch it and not being able to.
Yeah.
That's incredibly frustrating for me because I want him to eat that thing.
Right.
So
the objective is not to play keep away.
All my favorite lures are a Moldcraft wide range. The hole is in the center. It has a flat face so that it pushes and goes straight as an arrow. Yeah. And it pops, goes down, wiggles a little bit, comes back up, takes another breath, pops, and goes, and it just has a little bubble trail. Fish really don't care about a bubble trail. It allows me to see it.
Yeah.
And it allows me to locate where the lure is faster. A blackfin tuna doesn't leave a bubble trail.
No.
He goes, boom, and he goes, very few, if any, bubbles come off him when he does a little porpoise and goes down. He's streamlined and efficient, So I just want my stuff to be visible to the fish and easy for him to catch. And I don't want a whole lot of stuff in between him and the hook.
Right.
I want the least amount of bait, lure skirt, lure head, whatever, that won't get in the way of the bite of the hook.
Do you ever pull cedar plugs?
Yes. There ain't nothing wrong with a cedar plug, especially when you're tuna fishing. But a blue marlin will eat a cedar plug, and they have. A blue marlin will eat anything moving in the water that's smaller than he is. He doesn't know of anything that he has seen that he can't eat. So if he sees a cedar plug and he's eating a bunch of little stuff the size of a cedar plug, he will pile on a cedar plug.
He will eat it. Yeah.
Yes, he will. And he'll eat a big, ugly thing that you wouldn't think any fish would ever eat. I was pulling this what I called the abomination in Australia, and it was a big haze. Haze is Roddy Hayes. He made these big white plastic heads, and it was a white plastic head tied to a mud flap teaser, a big mud flap. It was made out of rubber thing, and we probably had 10 black marlin come up and try to eat that abomination, And I was like, and from that day on, is any time anybody held something up and said, "Hey, can I put this out?" My immediate reply was yes, because I don't know what they're going to eat, and they'll probably eat that if they'll eat that abomination thing that I saw.
40 seconds. Oh, man. Good stories. Good stories. Well, guys and gals, hopefully you enjoyed today's show. Dave Ferrell, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to have this guy on the show. Unfortunately, I've had him a couple of times. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's shows because, Dave, you have got so many stories about fishing just all over the world. I'd love to have you back again sometime real soon, and we'll talk about some more. It's fun to hear the things that you've seen. And I tell you, all the customers or all the listeners out there really appreciate it, too. So until next time, do exactly what Dave and I are going to do, gang. Get out there and catch yourselves a memory.